Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Sorry, it's a little dark here. Mandalorian season 3 is over, and man, how how do I describe it? A lot of flash happened, but not a lot at the same time. I took notes, which is rare for this channel and show. What show? One and the same, right? Dork Dads. Anyway, so I only wrote a few bullet points, but I have more that I'm sure will fall out of my head as I say this. Anyway, so I don't know if I said this before in earlier review, but the show on the whole, it feel like it kind of lost its purpose. So, and I don't know why they kind of scrubbed out what they did with Book of Boba Fett, but you had the little child. He was a bounty hunter for the child, saves the child, and then he has to get the child back. And in the first season, it was the end. Moff Gideon shows up. He just did enough to get away from him. And then the end of the second season, he gives him back to the Jedi, Luke, right? Book of Boba Fett completely throws that out the window. Grogu decides to come back, and then he's back. But then it's like, then what? Because there was the dark saber, which I was happy to see that there was going to be a little beef with the dark saber and Mandalorians. But it's like that. That kind of how do I describe this? Kind of came in secondarily. Bo-Katan is hanging around, just sitting around, saves Mando. Mando gets redeemed, I guess, in the living waters, but then she goes back to all the Mandalorians. They're both redeemed, but then she's told. This becomes more and more of just Bo-Katan. She's told to reunite Mandalore, and then the Empire, really Moff Gideon, really just it comes in to be the enemy. Let me actually use my bullet points here. So Mando Din Djarin was sidelined, right? The armor said Mandalore has to be, Mandalorians have to come back together, but it ends up being Bo-Katan that really wants to and is the one that does it. And she gets the Darksaber. Now in the last few episodes, it's like we didn't really know who the villain was. There was a little bit of the New Republic guys saying, well, we don't know what happened with Moff Gideon. Then we saw he got released. Like, oh, okay. And it was like, well, these markings are Mandalorian. I'm like, well, okay. Were there other? I thought there were other Mandalorians that took him. And then it was just him, and he had Mandalorian gear. But so as a villain, aside from reunite Mandalore and like redeeming myself in the living waters and saving Paz Vizsla's son, the actual threat of the entire season didn't come in until the last second. It's like I didn't even know. Like maybe I thought people thought it was Moff Gideon, but maybe it was somebody else, and there'd be a few more seasons. Thrawn would make an appearance. No, just good old Moff Gideon in his new suit. Oh my. So I mean, Espinosa, as I was corrected by Sam, is a great actor, but it's just they didn't have him in enough. He's also shown arguing with other leaders of the remnants of the Empire. And he, I forget his name, but it's like Thrawn's right-hand man is in there, and he bashes, so Moff Gideon bashes Thrawn a lot. So I thought, okay, at some point Thrawn's going to come in, maybe the next episode or so, put him in his place, and he would be the one to get rid of him. Mando would keep doing his own thing, and that would lead into the Ahsoka series, right? But that did not happen. I'll explain why in a second. Spoilers. So Then finally, we get an answer about the clones, the cloning, which the whole side story with Dr. Pershing and what's her name, the evil lady, didn't even need to happen. That could have been a segment that was, I don't know. It was pretty long and it was pretty drawn out. I feel like they could have condensed it into like a pre-Mandalorian title page segment, just saying, oh, maybe Moff Gideon's still around, but they stretched it out for the entire episode. And we kind of drew this connection to Dr. Pershing, and I thought he would meet up with Mando or help out the New Republic. Nope, just gone in one episode. So, who are the clones for? Well, it's for Moff Gideon. Why? He wants an army. Why? He used Mandalorian armor and parts of using the Force. Why is he using this? Well, never know. Never know. And as soon as we seen the clones, it's like, remember the Dark Troopers in the last season where they were shown and then they had to fight them, and then Luke kind of wipes them out easily. But as soon as we see them and one opens its eyes, like, why? Mando opens up all the hatches and that's it, they die. So, and then Moff is like, oh, my force sensitive thingies. And I'm like, okay, that was weird. And then he fights Mando. And then Mando is... How did it happen? It's like Mando's looking for him. Moff Gideon leaves the control room. Mando says, he's in the control room, let's go there. They go there. I don't think anybody's there. And then Moff Gideon is in there again. And then they fight. And then the guards come. And then the guards chase after Grogu, and the biggest three stooges fight. Like, seriously, he's up in a light going around a circle. And they're like, well, let's just cut off the thing where he's running instead of trying to swat at him. And then, Mando is fighting Moff Gideon. Mando comes to save Grogu. They are helping each other. Grogu's force pushing guys or weapons out of the way. Din Djarin defeats the guards. Bo-Katan comes to fight Moff Gideon. They all go to fight Moff Gideon. They're all fighting together. Mandalorians are stronger together. That's a line used. And then all Axe Woves is coming down in the ship to destroy the Imperial base, which blows up Moff Gideon. But Grogu saves Bo-Katan and Din Djarin. I'm like, whatever. So that's the end of the villain. And then there's all these post-credit things. I don't understand this obsession with trying to make Grogu a Mandalorian. Like, there's all this fan art of it. It makes no sense to me. I would have much preferred him to stay with Luke and actually train, but he stays this babbling baby, which I'm like, how long does Yoda species do that? So, I think Mando finds another loophole and makes him his child. And then he also goes to the New Republic pilot, and all the directors hang out and says, well, use me in side missions. Then he goes to Greef Karga, and Greef Karga says, I've got you a house way out in the field in between your missions. And it's seriously the end of the episode does this little zoom in on Grogu holding a frog with the Force, and then the end credits. I don't. So Sam tells me that like the series is over, or this is going to lead into a Mandalorian movie. I'm annoyed with how they left. It's like they cut things, they rushed things, which was funny because they dragged their lazy selves through the season, rushed things in the last few episodes, and kind of they also didn't leave any what's going to happen in the next season or any new villain or anything. I would be interested for them to tie together Thrawn lead into the Ahsoka series. Maybe Mando shows up there, and then there's this big movie to tie it all together. That may suffer from the MCU Disney Plus series problem. But it just left on a cheery note, like this is the end. Like this is the end of Book of Boba Fett. Like, I don't know. Like, is Book of Boba Fett gonna just be one season? But so that's it. I haven't checked any ratings, but I am sure that this is not. I'll look now. This is not gonna sit well with a lot of people. For whatever reason, people loved Grogu being in IG-11, and he had a giant yes or no button that would say yes or no, and I could not believe my ears. I wanted it to. Oh, Rotten Tomatoes 49% on it. I wanted to not hear that anymore. And they also, when he goes to the Republic bar, gets a new IG head, which allows them to recreate the entirety of IG-11. And I don't know why that was the only piece they needed. So it's a bit of a mess. It's pretty sad. I'm becoming a abused spouse here with this series and Star Wars in general, because it was just, I don't know. The series started with such promise. I feel like it peaked at the end of season 2, and then it started like puttering, and then like the Book of Boba Fett was half of it, and now it's like it's over. Now what? It's like I don't know. It's like they knew they had to end the series, and it's just kind of sloppily done. So pretty disappointing. I don't really know any other current Star Wars things that I have been liking. Like Bad Batch was more of the same. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I don't know. I just wish there's more out of this from something that was the cash cow. I guess it still is because I'm watching it. So that's it. Let us know what you think. Thanks for watching. Bye.